I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up, and throughout the world today must protect.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. My name is Jesse Peterson. Before we get started, let me just welcome our audience first. We forgot to bring them in. Hello, audience. Thank you for coming. All right. My name is Jesse Peterson, and I'm the founder and president of BOND. And BOND is Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And what we're doing is rebuilding the black community by rebuilding the black man. We want to understand what is wrong with the black man. In 1991, we have money. We can live where we want. We are educated now. We have our own black colleges. We can pretty much do what we want. And yet the black man is failing. He's insecure. He's weak. He's not responsible for himself. He's not self-reliant, self-controlled, and self-contained. He's not responsible for his family, his woman, his wife. He's not able to deal with the wife in the proper manner. And so I want to understand what is going on and what can we do to overcome this problem. Today we're talking about black men that are homeless. As I look around, I see more and more men on the street than ever before. I have the opportunity of going through downtown Los Angeles almost every day because I have a company down there, and as I drive through downtown, I'm saddened by the situation. I'm saddened by the men that are on drugs and that are violent. And many of my friends are living downtown in shelters and homeless places. And I want to understand why. I want to understand what is going on. So today my guest is Chaplain Bernard. Can you help me with your name? I'm sorry.
Bernard Basile.
Bernard Basile. I'm sorry about that. Chaplain Basile is a chaplain at the Union Rescue Mission, and he has come with us today to help us understand what is going on. And also he brought some of the men with him from the Union Rescue Mission, and I just want to welcome him to the show today. Can you welcome Chaplain for me? Chaplain, I want to first talk about your background before we get into what is really going on and how we can overcome the problem. You told me that once you was homeless, that you lived on the street, right?
Yes, that's true.
That's right. Were you born homeless?
Not really. I think the economic situation caused me to become homeless.
Okay, but when you was born in a home with a mother and a father.
Yes.
And as you grew up, you had food, clothes, and shelter.
Yes, I did.
Is that right?
Sure.
Okay, and then what went wrong?
Well, the family broke up, so the burden was on my mother to bring me up at the age of 7, and so I was basically a one-parent kind of a child.
From age 7?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so what you're saying is that your father left at the age of 7, right?
Yes.
So at that time, did your situation change as far as food, clothes, and shelter, and were you still provided for?
Yes, my mother was one of those mothers who, I was the only child, so she was able to work hard and see that I kept clean, go to school looking good, and things like that.
Okay, so you grew up, you finished high school, and then...
No, unfortunately, I didn't finish high school.
What happened?
Matter of fact, I finished school out of the 4th grade. Very sadly, I had to start working to support her. She fell sick, and I was the only support, so I had to leave school at an early age and start doing it for myself about at the age of 13.
You did. Did they have an impact on your life? How did you feel about that?
Well,
did you become angry about it? Were you happy to do it, or what happened? How did you feel about that responsibility at that age?
For me, it was more of an experience at that age. I wasn't bitter. I was happy to help her out. I didn't feel bitter at all. I think that I had an opportunity to show her that I can help to take care of her.
Okay. Were you an only child?
The only child for her.
An only child. Okay, so you grew up, you helped your mom, you was working, and you were doing fine.
Yes.
Then what went wrong to cause you to end up on the streets?
Well, one of the things is that I got involved with alcohol and drugs, which at a very early age it seemed to be one of the things that we males think it's a part of machoism. Yeah, get high, go with the crowd. Yeah, that's how that started.
And at what age did you start with the drug and alcohol?
About 15.
So what was on your mind that causes you to go to that? I mean, having this responsibility for your mother, you knew you had to be sober to do that. What was going on within you that would make you turn to drug and alcohol?
I guess it was more the guys in the workplace. They were doing it, kind of peer pressure. I would be different if I didn't. And most of the guys I knew were either into drinking or marijuana or something like that. And so to be a part of that group, I started doing it, even though I know it, I shouldn't, but I had to.
Can we, before we go into how did you end up on the street, what was your feeling when your father left home? Did that do anything to you?
No, funny about that. I still liked him. I still, hey, I adore my father. Just seeing him on the street sometime, I felt, there goes my dad. And sad thing about it, can't remember he ever bought me a pair of sneakers, but I still love him from inside.
But did you feel abandoned or some resentment or anything toward him for walking out on you and your mom?
I felt that as long as I was with my mom, it was okay. So maybe there was a sense of security in her, being with her. She seemed to have been the stronger of the two.
Even when he was in the home?
Even when he was there.
You felt more secure with your mom?
With her,
your mom.
yes.
Is that normal?
Well, for me it was. I guess it was. Because she always, she was the one who gave the advice how I should try to live, how I should grow up, and what type of person I should grow up to be. Yeah, she did a lot of that.
Okay. Did you still have communication with your dad once he left the home, or did you drop communication?
No, I didn't. Matter of fact, we stayed in contact all during those years up until his death. Yes.
Okay. And so then you end up on the street. How did you get out on the street? No home, no place to stay. How did that happen? What happened?
Well, I used to do pretty good in a job. Matter of fact, I had my own home, had 2 cars, the American dream, and somehow I had all those things, but I made a mistake. I wasn't really paying attention to myself. I always thought that they would last, and so in the last 14 years of my drug addiction, I started doing cocaine, and that brought in a total different change. A lot of my resources was spent very fast.
When you say you thought that these things would last, did you get your identity from these things? Did you feel, I mean, once
Yes.
you had the car in the home, you felt like a man and you felt secure?
Yes, I certainly did.
And then you lost those things. Did you lose your security at the time?
Yes,
You
I did, yes.
Okay. And so are you now living on the streets, as I see the men are now? They're sleeping on the sidewalk. They're in line for food. Were you in that condition?
Yes, I was.
Okay, let me ask you this. Have you always been a chaplain, or did this come later?
No, I never have. Matter of fact, never thought I would ever even imagine to be what I am.
Okay, let me ask you this before we get into that. What I often ask the men, and I sometimes don't understand, where's your strength that you can't see that I'm falling and that my situation is getting worse? Where were your strength that you couldn't pull back from that? Why is it that you couldn't recognize, well, I'm becoming a drug addict, I'm becoming a homeless person, I'm losing all my character, and pull back? What happens that prevent a man from pulling back? What happened to you that you couldn't pull back? Because you had to see yourself falling, right?
Sure, I certainly did.
Why you couldn't wake up and just go the other way?
That's not very easy if you are addicted to alcohol or drugs. You can see yourself falling. It's not easy to pick yourself up. One of the problem is when you face a new day and there is despair, there is no job, there is no help, there's no one that is there for you. I think we resort back to getting high, drink some wine, drink some alcohol, get a hit, smoke some marijuana, sit back in the alley. That seemed to kind of be the thing that we focus on at the time.
And so, in other words, it's overtakes you, and you can't come back. You can't come back the other way. Is that right?
It's difficult
you
without
sort of
help.
merge into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, what was your life like on the street? I know of many cases where people killed each other down there, in these places, and at night you're not safe wherever you sleep. Tell me, what was your life like as living on the street? What were some of the things that you had to deal with?
Out there, it's a jungle. It's a survival of the fittest. You couldn't always ever, in fact, you could never show yourself being weak. You had to bully your way into lines over the weaker ones. You had to establish a sense of identity that you were ready to even die, if possible, for what you were pushing for, whether it's getting in front of the line or taking something from somebody and standing up against people for that. It's really a jungle like
Yeah.
that.
Do you feel embarrassed, or when a lot of people work downtown, they walk by and they see the man begging for money, and do you feel a sense of embarrassment when people see you in that condition? Or do you get to a point when it doesn't matter?
No, the guy who is begging, he don't really care. He don't worry about what people thinks. He's trying to get something, probably to go get high, or maybe genuinely sometimes to get food. But he could care less about what the other person out there thinks about him.
Okay, is it good for us to give money, or when we're walking down the street and someone beg? Let's say you're out there begging for money. Is it good to give money to them?
I think it's a matter of individual choice. I think some people, their heart is just moved to give someone who asks them. And I think that's very natural if your heart is for that person. On the other hand, there are some people who refuse from giving someone who begs because they figure they'll go and buy some wine or get high. I feel that each person who wants to give must give from the heart, how they feel when they see that person. How is it that they have it? How can they say no? Why would they worry what they're going to do with the money?
But if you know that they're going to use it on drugs and alcohol, isn't it wiser not to give it to them? Because, if you see a bum come up to you, and I'm saying bum because that's what we see them look like, you know that this person is going to go and buy alcohol or drug or whatever it is. It's obvious. Would it be right to give money in that case?
Well, what I do, I find out if I can buy them a hamburger or something, if they would like me to do that. Most of the time, if they're very hungry, they will accept it. If it's just the money they want, then most of them will just walk away.
Did you ever beg for money and stuff?
To the friends that I knew, people I knew, not to strangers. No, my friends who I knew, yes.
Okay. We have to take a break right now, but when I come back, I want to talk about this emptiness that most men have within their soul, within their heart. I know for myself, when my father wasn't in the home, I too was raised by my grandmother and my mother, but there was always an emptiness there. There was a void that I couldn't fulfill or could not be fulfilled by anyone or anything else. When we come back, I want to know from you, did you have that same emptiness once your father left home? Or were you still fulfilled? You may have gotten that love or the proper love, what people think is love, from your mother. What we're going to do is take a break, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I just don't know. What do you think?
Let's have her do it one more time.
Okay, do it again, one more time.
That's enough. Bye, Frida. Thank you. We'll call you.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Jesse Peterson. We're dealing today with the homeless, black men that are homeless, and we're trying to understand what went wrong and how can we overcome this problem. I was asking you before we went to break about the emptiness, the void that the black men feel because the father has fell. He's not been there. Did you have that void in your life at any time?
Yes, I certainly did.
Yeah?
Yes.
Can you describe it?
Well, here I was, a man on the street, had no way of really seeing how to get out of my situation. I was a alcoholic, a drug user, and I started looking back at how it could have been if perhaps I had a father who would have paid some attention to me. And I began to feel that even though I didn't feel good about my situation, I was going to try and do something. I didn't know what, but I knew I had to do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what did you do?
Well, I decided I need help. I'll have to seek help if I'm going to do anything better than what I'm doing on the street. And I need to search for those agencies that could perhaps give me some kind of direction and where to go.
And how long have you been sober? Are you sober now?
Oh, yes, sir, I am. Definitely. Yes, sir.
And how long have you been sober?
I've had 5 years of sobriety.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
How did you become sober? What made you put down the alcohol and the drug?
Well,
Let me ask this first, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Were you married before? I know you're married now. Were you married before now?
Yes, I also had a wife who I had at the time abandoned my responsibility as a father. Really didn't care too much about anyone else. I would sometimes go get her check when she worked hard and leave her waiting in the rain, never return. So yeah, I
Did you have children as well?
yes.
How many?
Well, I have 4 children.
You have 4, and by this first wife?
Yes.
How many times have you been married?
Only this one time. I've had women before, but
So the 4 children that you have, is this by the first wife?
yes.
Okay. And so what are the age range right now?
One is 4, one is 3, one is 2.
Wow.
They're coming like
So
steps.
how long has this been since you left your family? Your first family?
Yeah, that's just after we got married, about 8 months.
8 months. Was it easy for you to destroy your family like that? Because you have destroyed them, you realize that, right? Because of your own selfish need, trying to feed the problem that you had. Was it easy to do that? Do you get to a point where you just say, I don't give a damn, and I need this and I need that, and to hell with it?
It was very easy.
That's easy to do,
It
huh?
was easy for me.
Yeah.
I had no thought about it, no sense of remorse, no feeling at all. I was still hooked on the drug.
And do you have remorse now?
I feel that I have worked hard to make it up. as I look back, I feel a little sorry, yes, but I think working hard to make it up, build a family back.
Can you work? What do you mean by working hard to make it up? To your, you do mean to your family, right?
To my family and also to other men who I come in contact with since I'm at the mission. And
so, what do you mean work hard? How can you work hard to make it up?
that's first of all by remembering to stay sober. That's one thing. Secondly, it is by understanding that we, as black men, as you put it, a lot of us, we abandon more responsibility because we get into situations like alcohol, drugs, pressure. But I feel that, yes, we need to do something, make it up.
Okay. Let me ask, you brought some guys with you today, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can we start with you first? I don't know your name. Can you go to the mic for me? And what I'd like for you to do is state your name, and I'll take it from there. What's your name?
All right, my name's Fernando.
And are you homeless?
While we're first coming to the mission, yes, I was homeless. I still stay at the mission, but I also got a home I could go to now also.
You have a home now.
Yeah, I go back to my mom's now.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Why is it that you don't stay with her full time right now?
Well, for the simple reason that I haven't asked her if I could stay there permanently. See, I caused a lot of damage while I was in the streets, even before going to the streets during my drug addiction, alcohol.
How did you end up on the street?
Well, I too was married at one time, and I abandoned my responsibility because of my drug use. I had a good job. I had, like Chaplain Bernard said,
So what brought you to the drugs, though? I mean, you seem like you come from a pretty good family as far as providing things for you. Was your father in the home?
No, my dad left my mom when I was at an early age also.
And did that have an impact on your life?
Well, yeah, I was the only boy, and I had 5 sisters, and being the only boy, I was left out of a lot of things. Growing without a father was hard on me. I was not able to do, sports or the thing that men do, camping and all this. I was left out.
Oh, I see. Was it hard living with those women, your mother and all those sisters?
Oh no, it wasn't hard. I was, as a matter of fact, I was spoiled being the only boy.
They gave you everything.
I got everything I wanted.
And did that mess you up?
Yeah, because after I grew up, I was expecting to still be getting without putting any effort into the things that.
How long have you been in the mission now? Living in the mission?
Well, I've been going to the mission for a little over a year already. I've been sober for 8 months already through that mission.
And how did the mission help you to become sober?
Well, going into the mission and getting this food and clothing that they provide for me, I also had to listen to the message that was put forth to me from the chapel, through the chaplains. Mm-hmm. And since I had no respect or no love for myself, during the message they told me that someone loved me, and that person was Jesus Christ. So at one time when I was really tired of using drugs and being homeless and on the street, I finally had to find out who this person was, of Jesus Christ that loved me so much.
Okay, you say that Jesus loved you, and you believe that, right?
I believe it, yeah.
Do you know that for a fact?
Yes, I do.
How do you know?
Because the things that I was not able to do for myself, He has done for me through faith.
Meaning
that I've tried so hard through people, through programs, to get out of this drug addiction and get my family back that I had caused so harm to do. All I had to do was ask Jesus Christ to take this addiction away from me and get my family back.
Okay,
and He has done it for me.
Did you know, you knew about Jesus Christ before you went to the mission, right?
I knew there was a Jesus Christ, and I knew there was a God.
Is this your first mission that you've gone to, or have you been to other programs before that?
I have been through programs before.
And did they mention Jesus Christ as well?
No, they didn't.
But all those programs are set up to tell, like the alcohol and drug program, aren't they set up based on the Jesus Christ theory?
No, they're not. The programs I went through was mostly physical and mental programs.
And so now that you know about Jesus Christ, do you feel safe and strong, like you're ready to handle yourself now?
Yes, I do. He's giving me the confidence back, and He's giving me love and everything else I need in life back.
What I want to understand, do you see now why you were using the drug? And
I really never even thought about why I used it.
So how do you know that you're safe then if you never discovered why?
because I'm just not using. You see, I never thought about why I was using. I was just using because the first time I used it is because it made me feel different. It made me feel like somebody, someone people could accept me for at that time.
Right.
And once I knew what I was doing, it was too late. I was addicted to the drug already.
Exactly. And so if you say that Jesus Christ has taken you off, because, what I find is, and I know many men that have gone through this program, and that's one of the things I want to talk to the chaplain about, and they do teach the Bible to you. They talk about God and everybody praise the Lord and, sleep good and have a good time. And as soon as you guys are back on the street, and you have a program about that, right, coming back, they're back into the same thing, but yet they're naming and claiming the name of Jesus. Do you believe there's a cause and effect for everything?
Yeah, you see, it's not just claiming Jesus, but also it's working a step, working a program. The first step you got to do is you have to admit to yourself that you do have a problem
That's right.
with a drug and that your life's unmanageable.
Right.
Once you admit that to yourself and get out of denial, then that's when the process of healing starts.
I know, but don't you think that is as equally important to discover why you're doing something? So, because until you see why, understanding don't come, right? So once you see why you're doing this thing, you're able to walk away from it.
Well, I think I know what you're asking now. Yeah, a lot of times I was doing it to hide my inside, to hide the hurts that I was going through at that time. Once I started using drug, I forgot about everything else. But I come to realize now that once I use, the problem's gonna come back and even greater after I'm off that drug again.
Okay. Thank you. Are we winding? Okay. Is this the end of the show already? Wow, man. What we're gonna do is we're doing a 2-part series on this, on the homeless. So what we have to do right now is end this particular show, and we'll be back next week with part 2. If you'd like to be a guest on the Jesse Peterson show, you can call my office, or if you'd like to be a member of the audience, you can call 213-759-3844. That's 213-759-3844 to be a guest on the Jesse Peterson show. I want to thank you for being with me. Tune in next Monday night at 8:30 on Channel 37. Have a good day.